Yo, we are live. Randall Thor and Jezzy, my UK brother, back again for our weekly discussion. How you doing, Jez? What have you been doing? What are you up to, buddy?
What am I doing? What am I up to? I just finished my review of Mass Effect Andromeda, but I'm not done with the game yet. I'm gonna keep playing through to the single player. I think, like do everything. I want to be completely, complete everything. But you can still carry on playing after you finish the main story. So there's that, I guess. Other than that, I've been going through Project Scorpio's operating system actually.
What? More Scorpio
What? What?
teasers? Wait. You have the operating system documents?
I don't have the operating system documents. I have like I have access to the operating system at the minute, or a version of the operating system. But um, the operating system is it's similar to the Xbox One's operating. Well, it's the same operating system basically, but there are some interesting drivers in there which we're trying to work out: are they retail? Are they experimental? So I'm currently going through those at the minute, trying to figure out which is legit and which is just.
Right. Well, you know what? Before we talk about that stuff, before we talk about anything else, um, we have a name for the show, which was actually kind of given to us by one of our listeners, Mr. Stickfigure. He came up with Xbox Two, but two as in with like the numeral. But we were
Yeah,
like, that's kind of cool, but we like the Xbox Two written out.
yeah.
So that's what the show is going to be called, the Xbox Two. You really liked it. Tell me why you really liked it, Jess. Because when I said it to you, you were like, "That's fucking genius, mate."
Well, it's like Xbox One, but Xbox Two. And there's two of us, and it's spelled out like it, it's cool, man. No,
Oh, I mean, I agree. I quite like it. I like it as well. And of course, when you're doing something for your YouTube channel, you need a logo designed. There's only one man that you gotta go to. And that man is Jay Williams, the graphic god, who
Aye.
uh,
Thanks, Jay.
yeah, I went to Jay. I'm like, Jay, I need your help. And he's like, what do you need? I'm like, me and Jazz starting a show. It's just me and him. It's called Xbox Two. He's like, let me get to work. And he came up with this great idea. And I was like, all right, how about this? And then he came up with the second version. I'm like, perfect. Um, Jay does great work. He's been very kind to me. So that's why all my videos basically have his link in the description if you ever needed uh, some artwork done for the show or anything you're trying to do. Um, Definitely check out Jay. He does fantastic work. So Xbox Two, the Xbox Two with Rand and Jazz. Well, not necessarily Rand and Jazz, but it's called the Xbox Two. That's the name of the show going forward. But Jazz, continue with this Scorpio deep tease. Tell me some things.
Well,
I needs to know.
I'm not committing to anything right now because, as I say, I'm not sure how up to date this build is. The Scorpio operating system. I'm not sure which of the drivers that I'm seeing are actually going to be in the final unit, whether they're experimental or whether they're specific to the dev kit. But there are some interesting features coming out, and if we can get them verified, um, I'll post them up. Nothing major, nothing amazing, nothing mind blowing,
What do you
nothing
mean
that.
nothing major? You said you just had the documents to the fucking operating system. There's nothing major in the operating
No,
system?
not the documents, the actual operating
Oh.
system itself. So I'm just sort of going through the files basically. So like there's stuff that uh obviously you can't deduct from going through the OS. It's mostly looking at DLL files right now and then opening them in Notepad and trying to work out from like their decrypted state what they are and stuff like that. But if we can get that information verified and if it's interesting enough, I'll post it up. But it does give us some clues as to what features Scorpio might have. So stay tuned to Windows Central for more information.
Yeah. Windows Central is where Jez posts all of his stuff. I have a link to Jez's Twitter in the description of the video, so y'all can follow Jez out there. What's up to everybody in chat? I see a lot of people. I see Chris Stubbs. I see the Daz Man. I see Jay was in there. I see Merc. What's going on, guys? Inferno. What's up,
I went on
buddy?
my mom.
Yeah, the show, like, when it's just like me and Jez, we have a lot of time to dedicate to chat. So if you guys got anything to say, make sure you post it in chat. We'll see it. If you got any questions too, as well, we're gonna like to be interact. There's my man, Mr. Negative. What's up, John? Just post them in chat, and we'll try to answer them to the best of our ability.
Indeed.
But Jezzy, I heard you put some major time into Mass Effect.
Yeah,
this week.
I got about 60 hours now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't fully completed the story yet, but I've got to the very, last mission, and it's got to the point where it's like, yeah, nothing's gonna happen now that's gonna change my review score, so I might as well just finish off my review. I got mixed. Have you played it much? The single player round?
I have not. Like one of the reasons we do the show this early at 4 p.m. is because I got school tonight. Like I literally have to go to class in a couple hours, and it's late for you, but I'm busy. I got a lot of schoolwork to do. Like I haven't been able to sit down and actually devote any time to Mass Effect other than the 17 hours I put into the multiplayer, getting that achievement for the Insanity or 5 gold extractions, because I did not want to play this the campaign on Insane. So no, I have not sat down yet and started the single player, which I hope to do starting Thursday night, and I can kind of play all weekend and see where it goes from there.
I just want to quickly get some questions in chat. So, Casual Sin asked, did anything in the operating system surprise you, Jez? Like, wow, are they doing that? Yes, actually. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not writing it up, because there is something in the operating system that made me think, wow, are they really doing that? I can't believe they're doing that. So it's like, I'm not posting it up because I'm sure that it's like, this can't be true. This can't be something that goes live. So I've just got to figure out if it's real first, or whether it was just an experimental feature. I mean, did you ever hear, Ran, that they were experimenting with like smell-o-vision for the Xbox One?
Get out of here!
I mean,
who knows? They were dabbling in smell-o-vision. Oh, please.
Well, I heard that, and it's the sort of thing like they might test out in a lab, but it's not the kind of thing that would ever hit production. So there is something like that in the Scorpio files that I've seen that made me think, wow, is that really something that they're going to do? But I need to figure out if it's true. And then I got another question from Nakapuki. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong, probably have. Have you played the multiplayer in Mass Effect Andromeda? Yes, I have, and I really, really enjoy it. I actually think the multiplayer feels more polished than the single player, which is no surprise because the developers who made Mass Effect Andromeda, their only other work was on Mass Effect 3's multiplayer. So Mass Effect Andromeda is like their first game, and then Mass Effect. Previously they worked only on the multiplayer, so it's not a surprise there that the multiplayer is that polished. But yeah. And Merc305 says, are you playing on Xbox or PC? I'm playing on Xbox right now, but I'm going to check out the PC version, I think, when I get my Razer Blade this week. I ordered a Razer Blade 14 with a GTX 1060, and I can't wait. Joining the PC Master Race, so to speak. Rand, are you still there? I can't hear Rand right now. Rand's muted himself. Does this mean I'm podcasting by myself right now? Oh no. I don't know. Can you guys hear me? I think Rand's taking a phone call or something. Rand's disappeared and left me podcasting on my own. Well, guys, it's just you and me now. It's just me podcasting with you guys. So keep your questions coming, and I'll try and answer them when we find out what happened to Rand.
Sorry about
Jesse?
that. Live, like somebody knocking on the door. I had to go answer it. Live podcasting, ladies and gentlemen, with 2 people. Things can go wrong.
Yeah, that's okay. The chat had me covered. They're throwing questions my way. So
Well, yeah.
Italian Clown says, Jez, do you think Scorpio will be the last console for Microsoft? And then will we see Xbox full Xbox service? No. I pretty much know already that there is going to be consoles after Scorpio, so don't worry about that. And also, I've also had some inside information this week that basically reaffirmed that Microsoft is extremely committed to gaming, and not just in the sort of Xbox is a side project sort of thing. Microsoft has huge plans for gaming on their platform, and
I heard the same
it's
thing,
all.
Jez. I heard the same thing.
And the thing is, man, we have to remember that Phil Spencer's only been here for a couple of years now, and he's just starting to put his strategy in place. I say like the last couple of years have been a period of transition, but you're going to start to see things ramp up really massively over the next year or two. But they are in a period of transition right now.
Yeah,
Are
look,
there any more
I,
questions?
I I know Jazz hears last things, but so do I. It's just that I don't write about it for Windows Central. I usually keep. There's things I've heard and seen that I'll tell Jazz, and he'd be like, "Why aren't you telling me that stuff, man?" Like the thing I told you today, and I'm like, I didn't know it was that important. Like, you know,
Rand never tells me anything, man. He
you
sucks.
never ask. You never ask.
Yeah.
I mean, but either way, Mass Effect,
Mass Effect. Yeah. So
Mass Effect. What the heck happened? How does a game become a meme before it even comes out?
man, I'm the biggest Mass Effect fan, and most people who know me on Twitter will have seen that I was kind of like, man, I'm just not convinced about this game. There's something wrong with this game. I could just feel it in my gut. I don't know what it was. It's like almost like a spidey sense for game problems. I could just tell something was wrong. I don't know what it is. Like the sort of late marketing ramp up. Um, it was just weird. The stuff they were showing about it, they were being very coy about certain things, and then the things they did show looked very, very weird, like the facial animations and stuff like that. So there was already a sense of there is there are some sort of quality issues coming out here. And I remember when they were showing things about Mass Effect 2, and they showed Omega, and they showed like this whole gameplay sequence for Omega, and it was like, wow, that's amazing, that's mind blowing. But we didn't really get that for Andromeda. There was just like a bunch of gameplay videos, like this is how you do combat, this is how the conversation system works, blah blah blah. But there was no like, wow, that's amazing moments. And to be honest, the whole time through I've been playing Mass Effect Andromeda, I haven't really had a wow, that's amazing moment throughout the whole game, which is like such a shame. I'm a
Yeah, wait,
huge fan of the
you
franchise.
haven't had a single like, whoa, this is fucking amazing moment the entire time?
No, I think like there's been a couple of things where I've gone like, that's pretty cool, but most of the time I'm just thinking, okay, so the first planet's a sand desert, the second planet's an ice desert, the third planet's a sand desert again.
Is
It's
there a lava desert?
and then the fourth planet. No, sorry. The third planet is a mountain desert, and the fourth planet is another sand desert. So it's like we're in a totally new galaxy here, but there is so little biodiversity in this new galaxy. We've got the same 5 kinds of aliens color swapped. We've only got 2 new alien races. It's like, what the hell went wrong with this game? And it's like, even though I do enjoy Mass Effect Andromeda, I enjoy it a lot. The combat is amazing, the writing is really good, and but it's all spread out so thinly across this horribly, terribly bland open world. And it's like Recore got hammered for its open world being a bland, empty desert. But at least Recore was £30 retail when it launched. And we pretty much knew going in that Recore was going to be this sort of low budget proof of concept sort of game. But Mass Effect Andromeda has this huge legacy to live up to. And they're selling it for £60 digitally on Amazon.com. £60 Amazon.co.uk. It's more expensive than regular games on Amazon, and they're asking for more than full price. And for it to be so buggy and so devoid of quality content is just such a shame. And there are those moments in Mass Effect Andromeda where it's like the main missions. Some of the main missions are really cool, and then you've got like the loyalty missions. They're also really cool. Like a couple of the loyalty missions that I've done have like made me laugh out loud. They were that funny. Um, some of the stuff that happened with that was that funny and that fun, and it's like, wow, there's the Mass Effect I want. These proper Mass Effect missions are really fun, but the open world gameplay is a complete train crash, and there's so many bugs, man.
Is there like these?
So
Now
so many bugs.
I like Mass Effect is one of my favorite franchises from last
Hmm.
gen. Like,
It's my favorite. It's my favorite franchise from last
and
gen.
to hear that,
Definitely.
like, to see the like, I don't let reviews sway my opinion on anything. I always want to try it out for myself. But there's
Hmm.
always something to be said for the type of reviews that hit. Like, very varied. Like, nobody can agree on one thing. One review will be like, the game's story is great, but the combat sucks. The gameplay sucks, and then one will be like, the gameplay's great, but the story sucks. Like, nobody can agree on what this game's like strong suit are, or its bad qualities. So that's kind of discerning to me, because you look at it and be like, well, like the reviews are like all over the place. Some are 8s, some are 7s, a lot of them are 6, some
Hmm.
are, it's like, ugh, and this is not what I wanted. Like, I was thought we
Absolutely.
were gonna get the next adventure in Mass Effect, because if
I've
you
got
go
a theory about that. About the review scores being over the place. I've got a theory about that. I think like I think some outlets didn't spend as much time with it as other people did. Like the review codes went out on Friday, and the reviews had to be up by Monday. And it takes so long to get through all the boring filler to find the classic Mass Effect missions. Like you don't do the first loyalty mission until after you've done the second grinding planet. So like I did the first two planets, and I was so bored and depressed with it. And then I got to the third planet, and it was like, wow, there was a couple of really awesome classic Mass Effect missions that were like in a linear sort of corridor shooter, in a unique place with unique cutscenes, like highly choreographed cutscenes. And then you go back into the open world where it's like these sort of MMO conversation engine cutscenes. Honestly, it feels like playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. Have you ever played that BioWare's
I
MMO?
nope, no, I have
It's
not. I've never.
That's
The
what
only
it feels.
MMO I've played is Destiny, and this is like a pseudo MMO. But no, well,
Yeah.
isn't okay. Now I'm pretty sure, because when I did this video about can Mass Effect survive the animation debacle, right? Because that was everywhere before the game even came out, coupled along with the tepid reviews it's getting. When I was doing like kind of looking around for that stuff, I came across that. Uh,
Whoa,
Whoa,
sorry,
something
spilled
happened?
rum everywhere.
Oh, we don't spill that rum. That rum's supposed to go inside and down the gullet, down the throat,
True that.
and in the
True that.
tummy,
Carry on.
make you guys feel happy. But
Yeah, yeah.
I was reading that. So BioWare Edmonton. Now I think BioWare Edmonton's like the main BioWare studio. BioWare Austin is the one that does the Star Wars stuff. They were kind of made for that. But BioWare Edmonton's the ones who created Mass Effect. Now Casey Hudson, who originally led the team, he left BioWare Edmonton. He works at Microsoft now. But they're making the new IP that is supposed to launch next year, right? And
Yes.
BioWare Montreal, which is the majority of the who did the work on this game, if I'm correct, this was their first full game. They had only
Yes.
previously done DLCs, and they did like
Yep.
a canceled expansion for Dragon Age. So they essentially handed Mass Effect, this beloved series, to a bunch of rookies and amateurs for their first game.
Well, I think it's probably unfair to call them rookies and amateurs, but you can feel the lack of experience. You can feel the sort of the unfocused project management. If I was project managing Mass Effect Andromeda, I would have been like, let's cut this filler, let's cut this filler, let's cut this filler, and focus on making more choreographed missions. Because the thing is that the planetary exploration is really cool and all, and it's a throwback to Mass Effect One, and for what Mass Effect One was, I suppose it was kind of cool that you could travel on these planets and see like all this space stuff, but it wasn't the core of the game. It was like a side objective. You didn't have to do all this planetary exploration stuff. But in Mass Effect Andromeda, you're basically forced to unlock 3 towers on each planet, Assassin's Creed style, and you have to go from this tower to this tower to this tower, and as you're traveling between them, you get little side quests, and it's like, oh, I suppose I'll do that side quest, and your AI comes into your head, starts nagging you, oh, we've got a side quest here, someone needs help, and it's kind of like, oh, I guess I'll do that side quest then, and it's like, it forces it on you a bit. The first time I played Mass Effect 1, the first time I completed Mass Effect 1, I didn't do a single side quest, and it still felt like a great game. And then because I was invested in it, then I went back and I did do the side quests, every time, and then I didn't mind doing it, but it felt very optional. But it feels a
Hmm.
whole lot less optional in this one, and I think that's and also they compared it to The Witcher 3, right? Now I love The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 is probably in my top 3 games of all time, and for them to compare it to The Witcher 3, compare their open world to The Witcher 3, they had better be able to back it up. They couldn't back it up. So, um, the the things that make Mass Effect great, like great third person shooter combat, great choreographed corridor shooter missions, and interesting characters, and a decent plot, they're all there, but they're sort of stretched out thin across 100 hours worth of dull open world gameplay that has no business in the Mass Effect game. So it was the wrong. They shouldn't have tried to take on The Witcher. They should have just stuck with the same format that they were used to and what they were known for. And they were over ambitious, man.
Mm.
I'm gonna ban Why So Serious for the chat for saying The Witcher 3 sucked.
Should.
Nah, not really. But yeah, it's still a good game underneath all these bugs and all this filler. But yeah, there's something deeply flawed about it.
Deeply flawed. Well, now you're not making me want to play the single player. How dare you, Jez?
It's still, if you're a Mass Effect fan, it's still worth playing. Just avoid the side quest as much as possible. That's all I'd say. Yeah.
Hmm.
But you'll probably like them because you like grinding.
Well, not always. I mean, it depends on like for the achievement wise, sure. Like I want to get 1,000 in the game because I love Mass Effect, but I'm sure the grinding is not going to help at all.
Mm.
I don't particularly, I don't want to grind. I'd rather everything just came like through natural progression and things like that. No, some people have also likened this to like Dragon Age, but in space.
See, I
Um,
don't even think that's fair. I actually feel like Dragon Age had more interest in open world than Mass Effect Andromeda did. When I was playing Dragon Age, it was kind of like, yeah, okay, I've got to go kill 10 boars now, or I've got to go get this boring item now. But honestly, I felt like the quests had, even the side quests that were pointless, I felt like they had more to them than Andromeda does. I don't know what it is. I think it's because like at least in Dragon Age, you could play the quest in your own way. Like I could be a dick in the quests, but in Mass Effect Andromeda, you can't choose between Paragon and Renegade anymore. You can choose between sarcastic and analytical, which is so boring. It's so boring. It's like you can give an analytical response or a practical response, a professional response, or a sarcastic response. And it's so boring between being like a Paragon and Renegade. And it makes those pointless side quests even less fun. It's
ugh.
just there's so many bad decisions gone into this game. I
Why'd they
can't
get
even
rid of Renegade though, dude? Why the fuck did they get rid of Renegade? I
because
played. That
I
was
don't
my entire all three of my playthroughs of Mass Effect One. I played as a Renegade, all of them.
same here, man. And it's there's and they're really missing opportunity there because if it was because you're traveling to a new galaxy, they could have made the renegade path like you're an expansionist, and you want to take over the galaxy. They could have done that as the renegade path, which would have been amazing. But no, you can't do that. You can't be a bad guy at all in
So
that game, and it's really
what did you
disappointing.
what was your final score that you gave this game? Anyways, I didn't check the final score because I think when your review
Well,
originally went up, when I looked at it, it was a review in progress.
yeah. So my final score was 7 out of 10. Honestly though, I would have given it 8 out of 10 because it is a solid game overall. But there's just so many bugs that I just I couldn't live with myself to give a full price game 8 out of 10 when it was that buggy. So I just felt like I had to give it 7 because of all those bugs. And we don't do well. Our scores are out of 5, so we can't do 7.5. So I might have given it 7.5, like knocked half a point off of those bugs. But yeah, I couldn't. There's just so many bugs. I couldn't do it, man. Ugh. I wanted it to be good. See, Rand, it's it's actually a bigger blow for Xbox probably than it is for the other systems right now, because someone said in chat, Jez, you should play Horizon Zero Dawn. Um, I think a lot of Xbox fans were hoping that Mass Effect would be this great game, because there's not really anything major to tide us over now until the next big game, which I think is Prey, maybe. What's
Yeah.
coming out in April?
Let's see. So we got Ukulele comes out like April 10th. I don't know
Meh.
if you consider that a big game. Sniper Ghost Warrior 3 comes out towards the end of April, but
Meh.
there's that whole thing with them.
City
Uh,
Skylines looks great, but I don't think that's going to appeal to
yeah.
everyone.
The next actual big AAA game would be Prey, which I believe is May 4th. And
Yeah,
then
so
Injustice 2 is like May 15th.
we've got a pretty big gap now to wait. If Mass Effect's a good game, but I don't think it's going to hold people's interest as much as they might have hoped. And the multiplayer is amazing, though. Do you like the multiplayer? You've played the multiplayer mainly now, right?
Yeah. Oh, we forgot a game. Love Bug Gopher says Outlast. That's right. Outlast 2 comes out next month.
Oh snap! I'm too scared to play that.
I'm gonna be playing that shit. Game it's probably gonna be the best game of the month. Maybe top 10 game of the year, because I love Outlast 1. I cannot wait to play
Uh,
Outlast 2.
I just hate the lack of combat in those games. I really appreciate them. Like I love their artwork and their atmosphere and stuff like that. But I just wish they give me a gun, man.
Well, that's why one of the reasons why Outlast is awesome, because you don't need a gun for that game. You're just a regular Joe Smo. You're not gonna be beating monsters with guns. This isn't Resident Evil 7. This is Outlast.
I want a chainsaw, man. I want a chainsaw. I want a gun. I want a shotgun. I want to hit people in the face. I don't want to see brains. That's why I love Resident Evil 7 so much. And I'm really happy that there's rumors of a Evil Within sequel as well, because I really enjoyed that game as well. Wasn't perfect, but I really enjoyed it. I feel like we're almost like, because of Resident Evil 7 and Outlast 2, we're sort of heading towards this survival horror renaissance, man. Maybe
The
a
Renaissance.
renaissance, man. Maybe EA will revive Dead Space.
Yeah, right. No, because look, Mass Effect.
I can hope, man. I can
Good.
hope.
You got Mirror's Edge, which people didn't like.
Oh
Uh,
God, Mirror's
you
Edge.
can imagine they'll be like, well, here's the thing. Here's the thing about EA. I've said this for a long time. They want to be the good guys so bad, because they'll be like, hey guys, what's going on? They'll be like, we want a new Star Wars KOTOR. They're like, we will. KOTOR. What are they called? The Old Republic, like KOTOR is like 3 to 8. They'll be like, here's KOTOR's 3 to 8 MMO, and everyone's just like, ugh. And they'd be like, what do you want now? I'd be like, bring back Mirror's Edge. You're like, got it. And here's Mirror's Edge for you guys. And everyone's just like, it's like, what do you want now? Like, Mass Effect, but good. Like, well, here's Mass Effect. And like everything they do, like, we're good guy EA, right? You guys, yeah, we're good guy EA. And then they'll be like, back Dead Space, and Dead Space 4 will come out, and it'll just be, ugh. Like, you know what, EA? Don't make a new Dead Space. Just remaster Dead Space 1 and 2. That's all you need to do, because I don't need you tarnishing the legacy of Dead Space. Just like you've maybe have tarnished the legacy of Mass Effect and of Mirror's Edge and things like that.
I can't help but blame EA for this. I mean, if I was EA and if I was the guy bankrolling, I was going to call them IDOS Montreal, but it's a different studio. If I was the guy bankrolling BioWare, I would have sat down, took a day, and sat down and played Andromeda as the guy giving the money to that studio, and I would have been like, you know what? We need to delay this fucking game for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know, add more content, add more polish. You know, flesh out those side quests, because my God, Star Wars: The Old Republic's MMO has more engaging side quests than Andromeda does. I would have been like, let's flesh this game out and make it an 8 to 9 out of 10 rather than a 6 to 7 out of 10.
Jazz.
But no.
You realize that somebody must not like what we're talking about, because we got 2 dislikes on this already. 2.
Oh my God, it's EA, man.
I mean,
it's EA.
I know, right? They're like, no, I love EA. Dislike. Or maybe like
No,
some super.
EA themselves are listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
Probably.
Whatever. So that's enough about Mass Effect and Jez's view. I mean, hopefully by next week I can play it and I can give my thoughts on it. You know,
Yeah.
but
The thing is,
oh,
man,
Jez.
I'll just close by saying that um I love Dragon Age Origins as well. I loved it so much. And because Mass Effect 2 was such a technical leap from Mass Effect 1 in terms of the engine quality, the graphics, like everything was improved in Mass Effect 2. Some people might disagree, but I think they're lying to themselves, frankly. But I kind of expected the same leap in quality between Dragon Age Origins and Dragon Age 2. But then Dragon Age 2 had like the whole game took place in this one city, and you went to these copy and pasted areas over and over again. I was kind of like, wow, this really, really, it really bummed me out, you know. And I was really depressed about Dragon Age 2 for a really long time. But then they added like a whole bunch of DLC, and yeah, I know it sucks to have to pay extra to get the game you want. But the thing is, Dragon Age 2, I ended up really liking Dragon Age 2 after they added like extra characters that all had their own missions, and they added extra expansions that added a ton of wealth to the game. I ended up really liking Dragon Age 2 after all that. So even though I really hate the idea of having to, that consumers might have to shell out more to get the game they deserve, I love Mass Effect so much that I would happily pay extra to get the game that I want. So
Hmm.
hopefully Mass Effect Andromeda will get more patches and DLC in the future that make it into it that can raise its profile a bit, because at the minute it's damaging to the brand, I think.
So the Halo Storm says, "Hey Rand, you think EA will ruin KOTOR next?" I think they already have, haven't they? I mean, they'll probably ruin Star Wars because they have a bunch of studios on Star Wars games.
Well, I played Star Wars: The Old Republic, right, quite a lot, because I was a huge Knights of the Old Republic fan. I was a huge World of Warcraft fan, and I actually took 2 weeks off work to play Star Wars: The Old Republic when it launched. I was like the number one PvPer on my server in Star Wars: The Old Republic, because I played all day, all night, and I grinded all the way to the top, and I got all the best gear, and I was just unkillable. It's ridiculous, because like all these other players just like had really terrible gear, and I just used to run around killing everyone all day. It was so hilarious. But that's slightly off topic. But I actually thought Knights of the Old Republic was pretty good as an MMO, but it's not. It's not really.
It's not
It's
KOTOR.
not really. Yeah, it's not what the franchise deserves. Like the thing with an MMO is like the quality, because MMOs have to be so huge. The quality of everything suffers. So the combat is worse. The um the combat is worse, the quests are less engaging and stuff like that. And the trade-off is that you get this huge connected world where you can meet other players, you can socialize, you can make friends and stuff like that. And I think that's a fair trade-off. But the thing is, when you think of Knights of the Old Republic, you want single player, you want story quality, you want the true Star Wars experience. And I actually think Knights of the Old Republic is. I personally think Knights of the Old Republic is the best Star Wars game ever made, and I don't think anything's even come close to it in
Yeah,
providing that true Star Wars experience.
I mean,
Like,
I remember playing KOTOR 1 and being blown away by the twist. It was
oh
such a
my
good
god,
game. I mean, that's
such
one
a
game
good
that
game.
kind of maybe put Bioware on the map for a lot of people. KOTOR 2 sucked, but that's mainly on Obsidian, I guess. But like, you look at like the games that they got coming out. They have Titanfall or Respawn on a Star Wars game, right? They have the former head of Naughty Dog. I forget her name. She's working on a Star Wars
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Because they have the Star Wars licensing, so they make Star Wars games. So so we'll see how that turns out. Those games better be good. Like I don't, like we're probably never gonna get a Titanfall 3 now, but hopefully they can do better stuff with the Star Wars games, because like you said, there really hasn't been uh a Star Wars game in a long time. I would love to see like a really good third person action like Star Wars game with like lightsabers and shit, reminiscent of
Yeah.
like a
What do
Jedi
you
Knight or something like that.
What do you think about the Unleashed games? Did you like those? The Star Wars
I mean,
Force
they're all
Unleashed.
right. I mean, they're okay. I thought the first one was better than the second one, but I mean, they're nothing special. They're all right as like as far as tech demo goes and stuff like that.
Mm.
But Like I want
Amy
like a
Hennig,
true.
that's the
Yeah,
woman.
yeah, she's making a game. I think her game comes
Red
out.
City game is finished.
I want to say next year. And the Respawn's game's the year after because they got the licensing deal. But Jez, enough about Mass Effect and EA, how they're ruining our childhoods and memories of Mass Effect and all these other things in Star Wars and whatnot. It's time to talk about that Controllergate, son. Controllergate. Look. I thought it was funny, so I put it in the title. Talk. Controllergate, because okay, I made a video yesterday. Some of you probably have seen it. Some of you maybe haven't. Right? Where I said basically, Microsoft, please stop. Please focus more on the games than the controllers, right? Maybe, and a lot of people gave me shit for it. They thought my title was bad, which on second glance it is, because I literally say in the title, I'll be like, hey, stop making controllers and focus on games. Not the best title. Probably should have given it a second glance over, because I don't necessarily mean stop making new controllers, right? I literally mean like focus more on the games than you, because like right now the focus is on this, like they're all right. Where do I even fucking begin with this shit? Because it pisses me off.
Go on, you first, and I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong.
No, I already know. Look, I've had people from Microsoft hit me up. Like I have a lot of friends there, and they understand my feedback. Has been passed up the chain. Look. Here's the problem. The problem right now with the Xbox is essentially Halo Wars 2 came out. One exclusive game. That's great. I thought it was a cool game. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I'm happy. The game's getting DLC, whatever. But then I look at what's coming next, and it's literally nothing. I mean, not nothing in the sense that nothing's coming out, but like there's no dates for anything. And I know people in the comments are probably saying, wait for E3, we'll get the dates for that. I understand that. But the problem is, you've announced 3 controllers this year, and we've had 1 exclusive game. I'm sorry, Voodoo Vince doesn't count towards that because it's an original Xbox game. Who gives a shit about Voodoo Vince? Nobody.
Oh my god.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about Voodoo Vince, Jazz. You be quiet. Nobody cares.
Phil Spencer better not be listening to this, because he will be mad at you right now.
I mean, it's Phil's baby. Phil's listened to some of my videos before. He's directly said some of the stuff. I remember one time, when Gears announced their season pass, and we talked about it on TXR, and I was like, that is the worst season pass I have ever seen from a company, period. And then that weekend, Phil invited me to play a game, and I jumped in there. And you know what he said to me? He said, so you don't like my Gears season pass, huh? I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't know you listened to that. Holy shit. And I felt bad because I tore that fucking season pass to bits. But, he's always says no. Like, you say what your opinions are. You take all the feedback and all that stuff. So,
well, I've heard the same from Microsoft. It's like, I talk to people from Microsoft, and they say they appreciate the objectivity because, and it's a big credit to Microsoft, because when you criticize certain publishers, like Ubisoft, for example, have famously blacklisted outlets who have criticized them. But Microsoft have a feedback-driven culture. Like, they've got the Xbox Insider program, they've got the Windows Insider program, and they harvest feedback, and they want to be a listening company because they spent so long not listening to customers and consumers that they kind of shot themselves in the foot. And to be honest, they still have problems with this. But they're trying to improve, and they do have a culture of
they definitely do. They
hearing
definitely do.
objective feedback. Because that's the only way you grow, man. It's the only way you grow is to get criticized and try and take it on board and get better and stuff like that.
And that goes for everybody watching. If you have some criticisms of the show, make sure you tell me and Jez about it, and we will try to improve it, because we want the show to be as good as possible. We don't shy away from criticism. I never shy away from criticism. That's how you grow. Like, I don't just duck my head into the sand and be like, "Whoop."
Yeah, it's not like
everybody loves it.
It's not like I'm a borderline alcoholic or anything to do with it. But I take criticism on board.
But getting back to my rant, right? look, I understand. I said in the video up front, look, I get it. I know for a fact the controller division and the games division don't impact each other whatsoever. They have different leaderships, different budgets, different goals they have to achieve, and none of that impacts any of the other ones, right? Them making controllers doesn't impact the games they make. And if they stop making new controllers, it wouldn't suddenly mean now we have all these games. Like, I get it. I admit that 100%. I said it right in the beginning of the video, right? But it's about perception. It's always about perception. And the perception is there are more fucking controllers exclusive wise than there are exclusive games to play. And what pushed me over the edge about that controller, which by the way, the controller looks fucking awesome and I want one, but you did good work, James. You did good work on this one. What pushed me over the edge was the shit they went with the Xbox Wire article. So I went to the fucking article and I'm reading it. And they literally, the beginning of the article about a new controller talks about Project Scorpio and its 6 teraflops of gaming and the true 4 gaming that it achieves. And I'm saying to myself, what does Project Scorpio and fucking 6 teraflops of gaming have to do with a new fucking controller? Why not start the press release saying, hey, we know at Xbox you love games. You're currently enjoying Halo Wars 2 and Mass Effect. We know that you're looking forward to Sea of Thieves and State of Decay 2. We know that you like to game in style. So we have a new controller for you to play your games on whatever place you want to play them, whether it's Xbox One S or Project fucking Scorpio. That would have been so much goddamn better. But no, it's about fucking
God,
Scorpio.
Ranting.
Yeah,
Rand's
that was
ranting.
a rant.
Save. I know what he's saying. It's like that article's a little tone deaf, and I think like probably the writer was just thinking like just sort of going through the motions, you know. Oh, it's another controller. I'll just whack something about Scorpio in here, you know, just going through the motions maybe. But the thing is, I think it's so overblown, man, and I'll tell you for why. It's because clearly Microsoft has a modular assembly line for controllers. They can customize the colors now with a website. You know, I think it's extremely easy and cheap for Microsoft to make custom controllers. They've got the whole design lab thing, and that's like basically they've got custom colors built into the assembly line for their Xbox controllers now, which is why we're seeing lots of custom stuff. Is that obviously they've got like a very modular assembly line for it, and so when people say they should stop focusing on controllers and make games, it just cracks me up because it's like, what you want them to do? Just turn the factories off or sell the factories and then put the budget towards making some AA game. I don't get it.
No, I mean,
And,
look, I want them to focus on what matters, and what matters most in gaming is the fucking video. All right, let me ask you this question straight up. What was the last game announcement we got from Xbox?
Well, they announced a bunch of indie games.
Oh, you can't even. I'll tell you. Know. I'll tell you what it was.
Skylines, man. They announced City Skylines.
They announced City Skylines back in Gamescom 2 years ago because Chris Charles was on stage talking about that. I'll tell you what Microsoft's last game announcement was.
Path of Exile.
It was the cancellation of Scalebound was their last game announcement. Oh, too soon.
Path of Exile.
Get the fuck. Nobody gives a flying fuck about flying exiles.
Don't you be dissing Path of Exile, son.
I watched your video. Who was playing that game? Was it the developer or was it yourself? I watched that video, by the way.
It was Matt Brown playing the game, but I told people it was the developer because I was embarrassed for him. Well, the thing is, Matt told me that sometimes it was the developer and they were talking about the game, and that's why he sucked at it. For context, people, there's a Path of Exile video on Windows Central's YouTube channel, and the gameplay footage is not very interesting because the guy playing it is not very good at the game.
Hey, but, I see someone saying I'm going to pull an Iron Wolf. No, that's never going to happen.
I said that to you.
I know. He DM'd me yesterday, like, you better not pull an Iron Wolf. No. Like, at some point, I probably will get a PS4, just because there are games I want to experience on it. But I have been and always will be your friend. I mean, I have been and always will be an Xbox gamer. You know, as long as Halo's here. I mean, that's why I'm here in the first place. But, look, I know what you're saying, Jez. They've gotten efficient making controllers, right? different divisions, different goals, things like that. Like I get it. I just think the focus is wrong. Like we don't necessarily need new controller announcements when we currently don't know what fucking games are coming out for the rest of the year. We assume Crackdown's coming out this year. We assume State of Decay is coming out this year. We assume Sea of Thieves is coming out this year, but we don't know. We don't have the dates for anything beyond Voodoo Vince. And I'm sorry, like according to Inferno, who saw and played Voodoo Vince at PAX, he said Voodoo Vince was a pile of garbage. Now, I'm still going to play Voodoo Vince because I never played it originally on the original Xbox, so I'm kind of interested in trying it out for myself. But after that, it's literally bupkis. There's nothing. And I understand, like, Microsoft probably had a plan in motion dating back to last year. Everything's going to be unveiled at E3, whether they have a Scorpio pre-event and then a Scorpio event, whatever. They'll probably have dates for State of Decay and Sea of Thieves and all this stuff, and then they'll talk about next year. But, like, currently, as of right now, we've had 3 new controllers announced and released and 1 exclusive game to play. And that is maybe more of the crux of the argument, at least to me, that I'm looking at. And I understand, like, there's a lot of games to play. We have For Honor, we have Ghost Recon, we have Mass Effect Andromeda, we got this third-party multiplat and that third-party multiplat and this third-party multiplat. There are stuff to play. There are tons of games, whether it's ID and Xbox games or multiplats. But you can get all those games on PlayStation. You can get all those games on Nintendo. Well, maybe not right now on Nintendo, but what I want from Microsoft is stuff I can't get on PlayStation. Are things that Nintendo can't offer me because they literally cannot do it because Microsoft has that IP. That is what I'm looking for. Not a brand new spanking controller to play the same games you can play everywhere else. That's at least my take on it.
Well, it comes back to what I was saying earlier about Microsoft being in a period of transition. So it might feel like Phil Spencer's been the head of Xbox forever, but no, it's been 2 years, I think. And it takes.
3 years. It's been 3 years. He took the job. He took the job April of 2014. So almost.
It takes maybe like a year or so to get concepts for games into place and contracts to be signed, and then it takes more than a couple of years to develop a decent game. Apparently Recore was made in 18 months. I think I heard. I'm not sure about that. But the kinds of games that people want, Horizon Zero Dawn and stuff like that, level stuff, they don't happen overnight. And now Microsoft have also been doing some of their own soul searching because Scalebound got cancelled. We all know this. We all know Scalebound got cancelled. And Microsoft will have known how damaging it would have been to their brand and their perception of reliability when they cancelled that game. They would have known that. So there was something seriously wrong with the game when they were willing to take that kind of PR hit. And I think Xbox has kind of been, they had a really strong holiday season, but they've kind of been reeling from Nier Automata, Horizon Zero Dawn, Nintendo Switch, and also, honestly, I kind of feel like this sentiment has been ongoing since the PlayStation Experience event last year. I kind of feel like that's what kickstarted this wave of I don't know what you call it.
Yeah, you're right. It was when they announced Last of Us 2 and coupled with Death Stranding, coupled with the previous E3 with God of War and was the other zombie game.
And that's the thing. Like Sony announced all these games like Death Stranding and God of War and Last of Us 2, and those games will come out eventually. I mean, they saw The Last Guardian through to its conclusion, even though maybe it wasn't amazing, but they saw it through to its conclusion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whereas Microsoft have started building up a reputation of cancelling things, like even beyond Xbox. So you've got like Scalebound, you've got Fable Legends, you've got the Phantom Dust reboot, you've got Lumia phones, you've got Microsoft Band 2. Like they've just got this increasingly growing pile of cancelling stuff right now, and I think it's partially because they're in this period of transition, and also because they're sort of pivoting to being. And this is the downside of being a consumer-driven company, a customer-driven company, and a feedback-driven company, is that they will listen to feedback and cancel things if they feel like it's not worth the effort anymore. So, I mean, I use Windows Phone as an example. Just very quickly.
So, because you do you love Windows Phone or is that my buddy DOA? I'm not sure because there's barely any. Oh yeah, there's
I
barely
love,
anybody that uses Windows Phone.
yeah, it's 0.2%, I think, of all phone users have Windows Phone now.
Jesus.
But basically, what happened was Microsoft made Windows 10 Mobile, and they released Windows 10 Mobile under preview to every Windows 10 phone, every Windows Phone 8. Now, people were giving their feedback on whether Windows 10 Mobile was a good experience on those phones. So people who were using cheaper phones like Lumia 640, Lumia 550 and stuff like, well, not 550, but people who were using the cheaper phones, they were like they were voting feedback saying, oh, this operating system sucks on this phone, it's really slow, blah blah blah. So Microsoft cancelled Windows 10 Mobile for like half of the phones that were out there because they were listening to user feedback, and then everyone complained and they were like, oh, why isn't Windows 10 Mobile coming to my phone anymore? And it's like, you said you didn't like it, so it's kind of the same thing with stuff like Fable Legends and stuff like that. So Fable Legends would have gone out to testers, and they were constantly giving surveys for Fable Legends all the time. I was a beta tester for Fable Legends, and they were giving us feedback surveys all the time, and it was stuff like, is this game fun? Would you recommend it to a friend? Would you um come back and play it again? And if people were voting no, then they cancelled the game based on that feedback. So, at least in part, So that's the double-edged sword when it comes to feedback. It's like, how far do you push? And if a game still isn't fun after so many surveys, do you keep working on it, or what point do you decide that it's just a money sink? And Microsoft have sort of they've built up this reputation of canceling things now. So even if Microsoft announces all these major IPs and say, yeah, these are coming in 2018, these might be coming later after 2019, like Death Stranding and Last of Us 2 and stuff like that, Microsoft could announce all these games, but it won't matter because you know what the narrative's going to be. How many of these games are going to get cancelled? So
Hmm.
Microsoft has sort of put themselves in a very difficult position right now where they can't announce anything early because it might get cancelled, or people might just say it's going to get cancelled, and then there's no point in them having a hype train for this game because the narrative's just going to be, we can't get excited for this game because it might get cancelled. So Microsoft have put themselves in a very difficult position, and I think it's going to take time to work themselves out of that hole.
Right. No, you're right, but they need to start by. I mean, I guess this goes to E3. Like, they need to have a fantastic E3, and they need to have surprises at E3. They need to bring some things that nobody has any idea about, because we all know they're going to bring Halo 6, and Halo 6 is probably going to be a really good game, and we'll know.
Mm,
You don't think they'll bring Halo 6 at E3?
mm, I wouldn't bet on it.
Okay, well, okay. What we know Halo 6 is coming at some point, whether they bring it at
Yeah,
E3 or
sure.
not. I'm just saying E3 needs to be like, the problem with this year's E3 is I don't want to see anything more from Sea of Thieves. I don't want to see anything more from State of Decay 2. I don't want to see anything more from any of the games that I know are coming out this year. Well, actually, I do want to see stuff from Crackdown 3. I want to see gameplay because we haven't fucking seen a goddamn thing from that game, right?
True.
But what I want to see is I want to see what their plans are for next year. Like, we know the game's coming out this year. I don't need to see anything more of those. What am I playing next year? Why are you so secretive? Like, because you have two different competing philosophies now. Sony's really open. They got all these games coming out dating to whether it's 2020 or 2021 or 2019. You know what Sony's bringing you, and a lot of PlayStation fans are happy for that. They're like, they're content. They're like, well, why get an Xbox, or why, like, I'm cool. Like, I got X, Y, and Z coming. Where Xbox fans are just like, if you don't really care for Sea of Thieves or State of Decay 2, there's really not much there for you, right? Or to get excited about. Like, I think that's kind of what's missing. And you're right, it does date back to PSX, that like super huge game that you can point to in the future, but like, that's the game. That is something that is why I have the system. That I'm putting all my hype behind that. Uh,
I haven't I haven't played The Last of Us. I'm almost afraid to play it in case it makes me want to get a PlayStation 4. I don't have room in my life for another console right now. So I'm just kind of like ignoring it for the moment. But you're right, Xbox, like, even if they do announce all these games, and they do have some cool games coming, I know you're not into State of Decay, but I absolutely adore State of Decay, and I know that the sequel is going to be a really great game, but it's still not that sort of heavy hitting drama that sort of 18 to 35-year-old that 18 to 35-year-old demographic wants. They don't really have that mature sort of drama anymore. Like Gears of War is kind of cartoony. Yeah, it's very violent, but it's very comic book. Um, there's nothing like The Last of Us in the Xbox portfolio. It's almost like they're afraid of doing something that's a little too real. Do you know what I mean?
Little too real.
Yeah, I kind of, I don't know. I kind of feel like that's what people want right now is the sort of post-apocalyptic. And by the way, I also think this is one of the reasons Mass Effect Andromeda is getting accused of having bad writing is because the mood in the world right now is so apocalyptic and downtrodden because you got, everyone's fighting about politics and there's all this terrorism, all this stuff like that. But Mass Effect Andromeda tries to be quite light-hearted and funny, and it's just not what the mood of the world is right now. People want these sort of dark, depressing games, I feel. And maybe I'm wrong about that. But that's what the mood is right now. And Microsoft isn't really delivering anything mature, 18 rated, realistic like that. Like even Halo's kind of like, the little grunts run around screaming, enemies everywhere. It's just like, it's so cartoony to me. And I don't know, man. What do you think? What kind of games? What kind of games do they need? Say they do announce new games at E3. What kind of games do they need to be?
That's the issue. Like, I honestly like what the stuff I like is maybe the stuff that doesn't necessarily drive the industry anymore. Like, I like single player focused games. That's my bag. I mean, I'll play multiplayer. Like I said, I put 17 hours into Mass Effect. Like, I enjoy multiplayer. Like, even the Halos and stuff. Like, I'm not one to shy away from playing multiplayer in my games, but I really like single player. That's what my focus is. And from everything I've heard, like Microsoft's focus moving forward is it has to have some, games as a service, GaaS, or multiplayer centric. That they need to have some sort of multiplayer focus moving forward. Now, like State of Decay 2, maybe that's just the co-op stuff, and maybe State of Decay 2 is a game to get really excited for. But I never played the first one, so I don't know if that's worth getting excited about.
Play it, man. Just get it.
I got so much stuff. I'm gonna know because I'm gonna get State of Decay 2, and then we'll see. And then if I have to, when I review it, I'll be like, Jez Corden was right. But I don't know. It's a tough question. What do people want? I think people wanted Scalebound. Going back to that, I mean, there was a contingent of people that were very vocal about that game. Now, but then there's also contingents of people very vocal about Halo Wars 2, and yet it seems like nobody really bought Halo Wars 2. And Recore. But no, that's the thing. Like, don't misconstrue people talking on Twitter as like support for stuff, because for games to be successful, they have to go beyond people on Twitter, beyond people on YouTube, right? Like, it is the way it is. But like, I don't know to what they need to do. I mean, shit. Like, I remember in the 360, I mean, they started Mass Effect because that wasn't like something they did. Like, I would love to see them maybe do something like that, but then EA bought them, so they no longer had Mass Effect. I mean, the beginning of the 360 gen was like they were the dominant platform, so every game came to them regardless of whether it was exclusive or not. Like BioShock was exclusive for a while. But of course, now they're in a different position now. Now they're second worldwide, right? They're no longer first like they were with the 360, where they could throw their weight around and be like, "Hey, like, your games sell the most on our platform because the PS3 is struggling." So I don't know, because the studios they have, it's like, well, 343, maybe they can make a spin-off Halo game. I don't know. Obviously, Turn 10 and Playground are going to be making more Forza games. I mean, maybe that exclusive that RPG that Playground's making. I would have loved to have seen Phil lock that down as an exclusive, get like an exclusive RPG from them. But again, is it really worth it for them if they're really going to be doing Fable 4? So I'm assuming Fable 4 will happen by somebody at some point. I don't know.
I think for that.
I don't know. Do you think? I mean, what are we waiting for another 4 years then? Because aren't they all hands on deck in air quotes for Sea of Thieves? I mean, if they're making Fable 4, that's probably some years away, right?
I don't know, man. And Bam Bam's just joined the chat. Yes, Bam, I am drinking. I'm drinking Kraken Spice Rum today, as recommended by Mr. Culso from Beam, and he's very nice. I recommend it.
Mr. Bam Bam, Mr. Soapski, Mr.
Yeah.
Stubbs. What's going on, guys? How's
Shout
everybody
out
doing
to the
today?
chat.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I don't
yeah.
know what they. I don't know. I'm not a game developer. I'm not artistic in any way. Like when you were like, what should the logo be? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like I can't even draw a stick figure right. So when asking what games Microsoft should make, I don't know. It seems like, and I hate to say this, but Ubisoft seems to be killing it lately with their games.
No.
I'm not saying I would want that, but I'm saying they are killing. Ubisoft is killing it.
No way. What are you talking about, man?
What do you mean? What am I talking about? For Honor's
Ghost Recon was so bland.
It was bland,
So
but hold on. It
For
was
Honor
bland.
Is a bloody scam.
It's a great game.
Costs £700 to buy.
Yeah, but you don't need any of that shit though. That's the thing.
And
like that's just
not only that, it's peer-to-peer networking.
And so's Mass Effect Andromeda. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, but Mass Effect Andromeda works. For Honor doesn't work.
Look, For Honor is unique in the sense that there's not been
Rainbow Six Siege barely works. And man,
Rainbow Six Siege is amazing. You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. I will not hear this. Like, look, regardless of whether or not you think the Ubisoft games they're making are bad, is an entirely different discussion. The discussion is games that would entice people. And say what you will about Ghost Recon or For Honor, those games are extremely popular.
For Honor is, yeah, you know, they're great games, and I agree with you that they're kind of what the industry, what customers want, I think, and that's part of the problem though. Sometimes I feel like customers don't really know what they want, and I think Microsoft, when we talk about games as a service, Microsoft are taking the money as feedback. So like what they're seeing is people, you know, Halo's had a consistent player base since it launched, and the attach rates and the conversions on Halo 5 are just insane. And Microsoft's interpretation of that is that's what people want. People want games as a service because look at all the money they're throwing at it. That's Microsoft's interpretation of that. Now they could go away and make a great single player game that, you know, maybe it sells a couple of million copies, but it's not going to have anywhere near the margins of Gears or Forza or any game that has microtransactions in them. And they will take that as, oh, people don't want that kind of game because we've made less money on it. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like that's also a way Microsoft is interpreting customer desire. They want to move with the customer. They're not a company that, and this is why they cancel things like the Microsoft Band and the Lumia phones. It's because they don't want to just be they don't want to be a product company anymore. They want to be a customer focused company. So they want to go where the customers are, which is why they put their apps on Android and iOS now, and why Macs have an Office.
Well, if they want to go where the customers are, they should probably head over to Sony.
Well, that's the thing, though. It's like, is Sony putting out all these games, but which company's making the money? And
Microsoft is making money.
I would bet money that Microsoft is enjoying better margins than Sony right now, even though Sony might be making more money because they've got a bigger user base. But I would stake money that Microsoft has much better profit margins than Sony right now because of all the games as a service, because of the store and stuff like that, and the attach rates and the Windows 10 store and Xbox Play Anywhere.
Nobody plays on Windows 10, Jez. We've had this discussion before. Maybe we'll have a fuller discussion in another episode.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody is gaming on Windows 10. This is a fact.
Dude, half of Steam users are Windows 10 users.
That doesn't mean they're gaming on Windows 10. I mean, like the store, that means they're Windows 10 installed and they're gaming on Steam. Like, look, a couple months ago, Gears ran that.
If they want to play Gears on Windows on PC, they have to play it on the Windows Store.
Yeah, okay, Gears, but like limited point. I'm just gonna bring up that you cut me off on, right? A couple weeks ago, or not a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago, Gears had that cross-platform test, right, where they were gonna see if PC people and console people could play well together, and they even said the stats. Like it was like 92,000 people took. It was 100,000 people took place in the test. 92,000 on Xbox, 8,000 on PC. Like
Ouch.
it was like it was 92% to 8%. As I'm trying to tell you, I understand why Microsoft is trying to put the games on Windows 10. They have a fucking mammoth thing there going, and if they could just get gamers to use Windows 10, that's even more money for them. You know, I get it. Like I understand why. From a business sense, from a business
Well,
perspective, it makes
I think
complete
about
sense. But Steam is too ingrained in gamers. Like they should have done this 5 years ago, 6 years ago,
no, you're
10
right.
years ago. It's too late now. Just like it was too late getting into the phone market. With the Lumias after you know after like iPhones and Androids took off. It was just too late at that point. You know.
Yep, you're right. You're right. And also, like Marvel fan just made a good point. Like, remember Windows Vista? Now, Windows Vista might seem irrelevant to this conversation, but it actually is kind of relevant because Vista set all of Microsoft's plans back like a couple of years, and you have to remember that the Xbox launch back in 2013, that's got to have set them back a couple of years as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
we know that the platform team got completely revamped with Mike Ibarra heading that up. Phil Spencer came on board. He threw out loads of projects like Xbox Entertainment. They underwent massive restructuring across the whole company. So the fact that they had to completely change what Xbox meant in 2013, that set their plans back as well, you know.
Right.
And also they're waiting on things like Windows 10 stuff. So now I can reveal that Scorpio, like there's been rumors that Scorpio is going to release in August. It's not going to release in August because it requires Redstone 3, which is a Windows 10, which is a Windows 10 update. So Windows 10 Redstone 3 is not going to come out in August. It's going to come out a bit later, we think. So Scorpio needs that to function properly. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be waiting for that. So you're probably going to see Microsoft said holiday 2017. That's when it's going to come out with Redstone 3. And
Right. I
so
see. I see. Bam has a question for us though.
oh, where's that?
Question Random Jez. Do you think Microsoft will make a new Kinect and sell that separate from the console, being that they are also adding features for content creators on Scorpio?
See, that's another thing. That's another thing. They've had to scrap Scorpio. Not Scorpio. They had to scrap Connect as well. You know, and
Does
I don't think we're going to see
so
another Connect. I think that whole angle is completely
I
dead.
think like look, they move like so we all know like remember back in 2013, Connect is mandatory. Thing won't even work with it plugged. It needs to be plugged in. They removed it. No longer need Connect. They dropped $100 to be more competitive. The Xbox One S, which is a new system, doesn't even have a Connect port. You got to go through all these different ways to get it to hook up. Now, if I'm going from that and seeing how Connect was a utter failure for the Xbox One, a success for the 360 in the short term, but long term obviously ended up being a complete catastrophe for them. I would probably hazard to guess that Scorpio won't have that port as well. Maybe you might be able to
I
finagle it and hook it up
Are
in
you talking
some
about the
way.
Connect? Are you talking about the Connect port?
Yeah,
I am pre- I'm pretty sure Scorpio doesn't have a Connect port.
yeah. I
I've
mean,
seen
it makes
seen a
no.
technical drawing of it. I've seen a technical drawing of Scorpio without labels on. So I've been trying to work out what's actually on it. But I'm going to say here right now that I'm pretty sure it's got HDMI in. I'm pretty sure it's got three USB sockets. Sorry, and uh, audio in the optical audio. I couldn't see any port for Connect. So
Yeah, I mean, they removed it on this S. I seriously don't think. I think Microsoft wants to distance themselves from Connect as far as possible. I don't think they want to deal with it anymore. I don't think they'll make any new ones. I just don't see it. And good riddance to bad rubbish because I've said this from day one when I was beta testing that thing back in August of 2010 or 2009, whatever it was. Connect is a pile of shit. It's always been a pile of garbage. And if you ask people why they like Connect, like if you ask Tim Dog, Everybody's like, I like the voice commands on it. Nobody fucking says they like any of the games they played with it. Nobody. I've never come across one single person when asked about what they like about Kinect, their answer is the games. It's always the voice commands and things like that. It's like,
I really loved Blue Estate on Kinect.
well, I liked it with the controller because it was better.
You just yell. You went get, and then stop.
I was like, get the fuck out of here. I've talked to plenty of people,
Blue
and
State's amazing.
everybody says the same thing. I like my Kinect for the voice commands. That's cool. That's fine. But like,
My
to
Kinect's
me,
not even plugged in at the minute, so it's not like.
I unplugged my Kinect the second I bought my system. I put it in a goddamn drawer. Like, sorry, like I don't know. As a gaming device, Kinect was not needed. Now,
Chris Stubbs has a point. Like, I really, because my bathroom is next to my bedroom, and I used to get in from work, and I used to go to the bathroom, and I used to yell Xbox on, and then my whole entertainment system would come on as soon as I finished going to the bathroom. So that was an amazing feature of Kinect, but probably not worth bundling with the console.
I mean, there was a reason. One of the first things Phil did when he came in was bundle Kinect and get the system $100 cheaper, and being like, we're moving away. Like, Kinect is no. Like, I get what they were trying to go for. They thought they had the next Wii. They thought all the casuals would like buy the system because they thought maybe Kinect was separated from them. But I mean, all those casuals that were on the Wii all left to go to mobile gaming. So I don't know. I think Microsoft just wants to get away from the black shadow that is Kinect, which, I mean, I've talked about before. I think Kinect is the reason, one of the main reasons, if not the main reason, the Xbox One was in its current position right now. Because, like, I don't want to go into it. Maybe we'll save that for another day. But like, I honestly hate Kinect. Hate Kinect.
I like Blue State because you can shoot people with your finger. Pew pew pew. I love that. I love that.
Blue State was a fun game. I played it with the controller. Well, unfortunately, we're gonna have to start wrapping up the show because I gotta go to class. My class starts in 45 minutes. I gotta get going. Jez has got more alcohol.
I'm not even drunk yet.
You gotta drink more. I mean, maybe we could. I don't know, but like, I gotta get going to class. Like, I can't skip this shit.
Yeah,
business management, yo, business management. I need to learn how to manage.
Are you going to become a businessman, Rand?
I mean, I'm trying to get my degree in business administration. I don't know.
Business administration?
I'm gonna administrate you. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be your boss. I'm gonna be Kramer's boss. That's what I'm gonna do.
Well, if you become a boss at Microsoft, maybe you can get me a job.
You know, speaking of people who just got a job at Microsoft, I want to give a shout out to my boy, one of my best friends, Mr. Black Magic, who is doing an internship with Xbox this summer. So incredibly proud of Magic.
Me too. Me too.
That's gonna be amazing. I know he's probably not watching because
he hates me.
Probably he doesn't hate you. Stop it. Stop it. So yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna end the show. This has been the Xbox 2 episode number 2 with Rand and Jez. What do you got going on for the rest of the week, Jezzy? More Scorpio digging through documents.
Trying to get this information verified so I can post it and get some hits. I'm writing some Mass Effect Andromeda guides for search traffic that nobody will read. That's pretty much it, you know. We just I'll tell you this. I have interviewed Jeff Strain from Undead Labs about State of Decay 2. So there might be some exclusive State of Decay 2 information coming out of Windows Central next week, hopefully. But that is pretty much what I'm up to now. I mentioned I bought a Razer Blade laptop, so I'm quitting Xbox anyway. I'm joining PC Master Race. See you guys.
That's right, Mr. Iron Wolf over here, Jez Wolf. Jez Wolf, Iron Jez. Yeah, so I mean, I'll be dropping videos as I normally do, trying to get some of these indie spotlights done. I'll probably have one for 88 Heroes, hopefully one for This Is the Police, maybe even one for Troll and I, as I try to also get through Mass Effect Andromeda and get a review up as fast as I possibly can. And you know what? Before we go, I noticed somebody said, "Rand, you don't equal everyone." Yes, I do. Yes, I do. No, of course I don't equal everyone. I'm just like, look, when you listen to our show, my opinions are mine. I only speak for myself, and Jez only speaks for himself. So I know I don't speak for everybody, but then again, they did remove Connect for a reason. So maybe I'm right.
It's feedback. Nobody was using it. That's literally what the reason they gave was. Nobody was using it. So.
And you know what? Mike Ibarra posted on Twitter that nobody uses pins either.
Oh no! Oh no!
So bye pins, maybe? I don't know.
No.
But anyways, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We will see everybody next week, same time, 4 o'clock, for more of the Random Jetso show, the Xbox 2. Later, guys. Hope everybody has a good rest of the day. Peace.
Take care, everyone.
Uh-oh, it's not stopping. We're still live.
Are we?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it still says live. All right, well,
Rand broke it.
It still says yeah. I don't know. All right, well, I wonder if they can still see us. Let's see. Does anybody say we're still live?
Hot mic.
Hot mic. Oh my god! It actually said failed to stop broadcast.
Oh my god!
I've never seen that happen before.
You can't.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't start. I know, right? I'll be like stuck here forever.